Hey everyone, it's Chris here, and today I'm going to talk about water on the trail and the system that I use for carrying and filtering water. One of the questions I get asked by people who are new to hiking and looking just to get into it is, how much water do I carry when I'm out hiking? And the answer to that is, well, it really depends on the type of hike you're doing. And that is based on the length of the hike and also the type of conditions that you're walking in, whether it's going to be hot weather or colder, and also how much water is available along the trail as well. If you're just doing day hikes, chances are you can probably take enough water with you from home and just fill up from the tap at home, and that's going to be enough to get you through the day. And that may even be the case on overnight hikes. So for example, last year I went out and did the Baritmo walk, which was an overnight hike. I actually carried about 5 litres of water with me when I started that hike, and that was nearly enough to get me through the whole hike. I had to fill up once at the water tank at the campsite just to get another litre, but most of that water that I carried with me got me through that hike. Once you start getting into multi-day hikes though, you do need to start looking at options that you're going to have to refill water along the trail. So I thought it'd be good just to cover off the system that I use to carry and filter water when I'm out on the trail. So when I first started out, I went out and bought a bladder, and the bladder that I am still using now is the Platypus. That's just a 3 litre bladder, and the pack that I have actually has a sleeve in it. Actually, both my day pack and my multi-day pack actually have the sleeve inside it to put the bladder down into, and I keep that in there, and it's got the feed out just to feed the hose out through the pack as well. When I first started using that, I was actually just using chlorine dioxide tablets just to purify it, and usually the recommendation with those tablets is that you put 1 tablet per litre of water, and the recommendation is just to leave that for somewhere between 10 minutes to 30 minutes to allow that to take effect. And look, I found those to be really good. In terms of what I would actually carry, it'd usually be a full bladder of 3 litres. This is for a multi-day hike I'm talking about. And normally I would take an extra bottle as well, which I may fill up as well. The purpose of the water bottle was also to be used as a dirty water bottle, just to put my collected water into and then purify with the tablets from there. So that was how I first sort of started out. What I tend to do now though is I changed a couple of things in my setup, still using the bladder in my pack, but what I then went and purchased was a filter, which is the Sawyer Micro Squeeze. That was sometime last year that I got that, and I've been using that ever since as my main filter. The great thing about this filter is that it's so versatile in the way that you can use it. So you can actually attach it to the end of a water bottle and use the water that you've collected from a natural water source and just drink straight through the filter. And you can also attach that to a water bag of some sort. The Sawyer filter actually comes with one of those bags that looks like this. Now, I don't really use that one when I'm out hiking. It works fine, but I've just heard that they do tend to break down pretty quickly, so I'm not really using that as my collection bag from streams and so on. The one that I actually decided to use instead of that is the Canuck Vecto 2 litre bag, and this is just a fantastic bag that I bought last year. It's just made of a really nice sort of tough material and is really hard wearing. And the advantage of this thing is that it just folds down really small to carry as well. So it's just really easy to carry around. The other thing I like about it is if you know that you're going to be a fair way from the next water source when you're out on a hike, I can actually just fill up my bladder and water bottle as well if I'm carrying that. And then to carry some extra water with me, I can actually fill this up unfiltered and just leave it in the top of my pack. And then once I'm getting low on water, I've got this additional amount in the bag that I can then filter out. So potentially I could carry up to about 6 or 7 litres of water. That just gives me the peace of mind that I'm going to have plenty of water if I'm going along a really dry section. So as I said before, the Sawyer filter is just so versatile because it actually does feed onto the end of this with the thread on it, and so the idea is that this gets filled up and then your Sawyer filter goes on to the end of it, and then you're just squeezing the water through the bag into a bottle or a bladder, and that's your filtered water then. So that's the way that I use that. And then, as I said before, this also screws onto the end of water bottles as well. So that works really well as well, because you can just drink straight from a water bottle that you've filled out of a water source. So really versatile little piece of gear. Now, there's a word of caution on these, because I have heard of stories where if you're hiking in cold weather where it's going below freezing, these do tend to freeze up inside, and that can actually crack the filter and render it useless. So if you're hiking in really cold weather with one of these, the recommendation is just to keep that inside your sleeping bag at night, just so that it's going to, maintain some warmth about it, and it won't actually freeze over and crack and become useless for you. The final part of my water carrying system is these water bottles. So these are just Balance water bottles that I got from the supermarket. They're just a really long, skinny bottle. They just fit in the side pockets of my pack really well. So I'll normally carry either 1 or 2 of these, depending on how much water I think I'm going to need. These, when I first bought them, actually just had the standard bottle cap on them, and I just actually changed these out with like a sports cap, so I can just sort of flip those and it's just easier to drink out of them as you're sort of walking along. The other purpose that these actually serve is to backflush the filter. Basically, you use that to clean out the filter as you're going along. I generally backflush it each time that I filter water through it, just to make sure it's not getting a build-up of grit and so on in there. So as well as just being a useful cap to drink from, it serves that double purpose of being a backflush device for the Sawyer filter as well. So that's the current water system that I'm using for carrying and filtering water when I'm out on the trail. It's not the only method to use, it's just the one that I find, for me, works really well at the moment, just in terms of how flexible and versatile that is. But there's a variety of other ways that you can do it as well. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you got anything out of it, hit the like button and feel free to leave a comment down below as well. If you're enjoying following along on my channel and you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, hit the subscribe button and also hit the little notification bell so that you get notified of any other videos as they come out. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you out on the trail next time.